Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be starting off the week on the wrist with the Grand Seiko SBGE285, the Mist Flake. Now, I fell in love with this watch ever since I first saw it. Great watch, amazing watch. And you know what? Last week I was doing the week on the wrist with the Rolex Datejust 36, that was good. This week, however, it's a fucking long week. It's going to be a long week. I'm going to office a number of days, but I'm also doing business trips. So I'm going to be going to Brisbane. I'm here in Sydney. I'll be going to Brisbane, Sunshine Coast, driving to Sunshine Coast, up north from Brisbane, then staying over in Brisbane. Or not staying over, but going back to Brisbane, and then driving down to Gold Coast, and then staying at Gold Coast to do more meetings and whatnot. So I've chosen the Mist Flake to accompany me for two reasons. Number one, it's been misty as shit over here in Sydney, and apparently it's going to be very misty the first day I go to Queensland or Brisbane when I go later in the week. And number two, I have been looking forward to actually wearing this more. So ever since I bought it not too long ago, every time I look at it, I just fall in love. So I'm like, you know what? I really do want to do this week on the wrist with the Mist Flake. And when I first bought the Mist Flake, right, I was wearing it for like 3-4 days in a row. So I basically already had a week on the wrist with it. But this week, true week on the wrist, right? Every single day, non-stop. So that's going to be a fun one. It is going to be a fun one. And let's get the video started. So straight off the bat, the thing I love about making these videos is that I don't need to think about what I'm wearing. I just pick the watch I'm wearing for the week and that's it. The Mist Flake is light. It's made out of titanium, and this is the first titanium watch I've ever owned and as well ever worn. And you know what? I've been converted. I'm actually looking at a Pelagos 39 now, and I'm cross-shopping that against a Black Bay 54. So with the titanium, a lot of my connections and just people in the hobby that I know, they all say, you know what, I want to be able to feel my watch. However, wearing this for an extended period of time, it's just such a joy, and it still feels as if that you're wearing a watch, it just doesn't feel as heavy. So in that sense, it actually makes it a lot more comfortable. With my other pieces, I find myself taking the watch off, whether I'm wearing my stainless steel watches or my two-tone. I take them off during the peak of the day, call it at 2 p.m., 3 p.m. after lunch. I end up taking my watch off because for whatever reason, my wrist might expand, it might be a touch uncomfortable, or I might have to adjust the Easy Link with the rollies or the micro adjustment with the Speedy. Santos, no fucking chance because it has no micro adjustment, so it is what it is. However, the spring drive, this Mist Flake, I don't feel the need to take off. And I've been fortunate, a lot of people shit on the Bracelet. I've been fortunate that I can find a great fit where even when my wrist expands, you know what, it doesn't matter, right? As a comparison, my Santos, when my wrist expands, look, it gets a bit uncomfortable, but I live with it. It's either you wear it loose and adjust for it, or you wear it a bit tighter and you just deal with it. Not with the spring drive, with the Mist Flake here. The Mist Flake, look, there's no compromises. It just feels comfortable any time of the day, and even without the micro adjustments, that doesn't matter. I love it. In terms of the overall aesthetic, look, I was looking for a Explorer Tooth style watch that wasn't too overbearing, but at the same time still had that look about it. So as you can see here, steel bezel, kind of has that Polar Explorer look and feel without the orange pop, and it also has the unique dial. I was cross-shopping this against a Tudor Pro, also against a 40mm more vintage-esque Explorer 2, either the black dial or the white dial. And I was also cross-shopping the black dial of the Grand Seiko as well. Ultimately, looking at the Mist Flake in person, it just shit on everything else in my opinion. It's unique enough where it has its own personality. The spring drive adds that sweep that, I've always wanted to experience, and now I have it. It's great. And in terms of the accuracy side of things, I'm a sucker for accuracy. Accuracy is very important to me, and you know what? This is as good as it gets without going down the quartz rabbit hole. And I don't think I'll be adding a quartz to my collection anytime soon. So spring drive, fucking love it. It's amazing. I'm actually looking forward to getting a high beat next because that's the next best thing, or the best thing depending on your stance in Grand Seikos. Now, wearing this in the office looks and feels great. I've gotten lots of compliments on it. People say, oh, what's that in your wrist? It's looking quite shiny. And that's the Zaratsu polishing that they're looking at, which is fucking, it's great in the light. Sometimes when the light hits it right, it gives off this rainbow sparkle. I can't quite explain it. It's kind of like a diamond when you shine some light through it. It gives you off that rainbow sparkle. This does it as well, and I think you need to experience it in person. So in a professional setting, looks great. It's inoffensive as well. It's not like Rolex. It's not like flashy in your face. It's very utilitarian. It's very rugged, but at the same time, it is also under the radar where no one gives a shit that you're wearing it. You know, you're not gonna get robbed. Whereas obviously if you're wearing a Rolly, look, if someone notices it, they might try you, right? They might test you. Something I really like about this watch is the legibility. So I thought to myself, you know what? Because the dial itself, it's very misty, right? And in terms of contrast, there's not that much contrast going on besides the GMT hand and the applied markers at specific lighting. You know, like it might give off a bit of contrast, it might look different in different lighting, whatever it may be. Though it's very, very legible. So because of the size of the watch, I can actually tell what the time is. And also the second time zone I'm tracking, I can tell at a glance from a distance. Basically, I can read it, right? I can read the fucking thing. You won't have any issues with legibility. I thought it was gonna be a thing, but no, it's not a thing. It looks fine and you can read it fine. And this is for all lighting conditions.
Okay, I'm at this alright hotel in the Gold Coast. And I brought the Misty with me. Fuck, this is a good watch. It's a great watch. It's a great watch to travel with. It's legible, sporty, Garda-like. Yeah, just gonna get a coffee because what is it? It's nearly 6 o'clock in the morning. Just gonna get ready, get some coffee, start the day. Yeah. Also, I'm driving a fucking crappy rental car. But let's go get some coffee.
Now, it's not all good in the hood with the Grand Seiko Mist Flake. There are negatives about it, and surprise, surprise, the negatives are the same that everyone shits on Grand Seiko about, and that's the bracelet. Now, for me personally, and I'll touch on this later in the video, but for me personally, once I found these negatives, I adjusted accordingly, I adapted, and you know what? Afterwards, it doesn't even bother me anymore. It's totally fine. But let's go back to face level and finish this video. Jesus Christ, that was a long week. Fuck me. Fuck. Hey buddy. Hey puppy. How's it going? So I just got back home from the business trip. Pluto, so happy to see daddy. And yeah, fuck, it's a long week. But joining me to keep me company this entire time was the Grand Seiko SBGE285 Mist Flake, the misty, good old Mist Cuz. And what can I say? I absolutely had a blast wearing this watch all week. And reading from the Grand Seiko website, let's actually bring it up because the marketing department at Grand Seiko explains it, SBGE285, they explain it the best way. So this is from the website. This Go Anywhere Spring Drive GMT watch looks as good at the office as it does at home, but has a dial that is inspired by the landscape where it was created. So that first part, this Go Anywhere Spring Drive GMT looks good in the office as well as at home. And look, I've been wearing this out the entire week. I went to Brisbane. Stressful fucking couple of days. Just fucking the flights being delayed, getting my luggage, driving up to, you know, Sunshine Coast up north, then Brisbane. And then I just got back home from my flight from Gold Coast. So I went down from Brisbane to the Gold Coast. And it's just a span over a different, a number of days. It's not just one day. And I almost missed my flight because fucking the check-in, the bag check-in closes 40 minutes prior. But then on the way from Brisbane to the Gold Coast airport, not Brisbane, but like, you know, Southport, that's right, Southport to Gold Coast airport, it's just fucking roadworks all the fucking way, just roadworks. I had to go in and out of traffic, in and out of traffic. I was looking at this the whole time because I was driving a crappy Renault shitbox, a rental car, and then I couldn't see anything from the fucking car. The GPS wasn't working, so I had my phone as a GPS. Obviously couldn't tell the time, couldn't see the time. I was mindful of the time, and I was just driving like this because the shifter was weird. And then I was looking at this the entire time. So I was doing this, looking at the Mist Flake, and I was like, fuck yeah, that's legible. So this was indeed something that helped me get to my flight on time so I didn't miss it. Jesus Christ. Anywho, to cap off the week on the wrist, look, I absolutely loved wearing this watch the entire week. The titanium, you know, people always say, oh, titanium, it's too light. It's not a real watch. Well, fuck man, like I wore it for the entire week. I loved it. I loved every moment of wearing this. As a juxtaposition on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, my Rolex Explorer 36 two-tone, I was tired. I was tired of wearing it. And I said in the end of that video, I was like, fuck me, that was exhausting. This, however, I'm like mentally drained and physically drained right now, and I still have to work. But wearing this, a fucking treat. I absolutely love it. And I might be swearing in my video. I don't like to swear. Well, scratch that. I like to swear. I'm mindful of swearing now. But fuck me, this is good. It is so good, man. It's so fucking good. And the GMT time zone, look, at the moment, there's no time difference in Queensland from Sydney. There's no difference. However, I have colleagues in Western Australia that allows me to track what time it is as well over there. So I'm actually tracking WA time, Perth time. So I'm mindful of when he's actually working and not working. And overall, yeah, this is fucking great. The lightness of it, the legibility. I actually met one of my great clients. My last appointment was a great client of mine. Is a great client of mine. He bought a Yachtmaster 37 recently, and I actually compared both of them. So the slate dial, I was comparing both of them, and I was like, oh, which one would I pick? Fuck man, this one. Controversial, I know, but you know what? I love the Yachtmaster. I like the Yachtmaster, but nah, this is fucking great. Now, aside of me dick riding the watch, you know, like there are negatives to this, and funnily enough, it's negatives that it's already been addressed in the in many other reviews, and that negative is the bracelet. Now, don't get me wrong, the bracelet's great. Like I've actually been fortunate that I have a perfect fit. The fit's perfect. The fit's fucking perfect for me. So earlier on the plane, my wrist was expanding. It was like, it fit perfectly. And because of the lightweight nature of the watch, it wasn't a big problem. Whereas, you know, the Santos, it might be a little too tight or might be a little too loose, whatever. This one, no micro adjustments, but perfect. I love the bracelet fit. It's amazing. That's not what the complaint is. The complaint, there's two things. The first one is this clasp. Now, might seem simple enough. Click it in, whatever. But it doesn't, you have to be careful. If you're not paying attention, you might just click it a little bit, you know, not all the way. And then if it's not clicked in all the way, it might actually do one of these. See what I mean? Did you see that? So I didn't click it all the way in. And then it's opening up. I'm not pushing the pushers, it's just opening up by itself. So what you need to do is you have to actually be mindful of fucking clicking it in. Actually like putting the effort, the conscious effort to put the clasp together and press it firmly. So you hear that? That second click, like tick. You have to be mindful of that because I was wearing it yesterday morning when I was getting ready for my flight, and that, fuck me, that flight when getting to the airport, that was a nightmare as well. And I put it on, I was taking a piss, and it unraveled on me. I'm like, what the fuck? So I was playing around with it in the Uber on the way to the airport, and then I realized, oh, it's because the clasp wasn't clicked in all the way. So I'm just being mindful, you know, just letting you know, just be aware of that. And the second problem I have with the bracelet is this fucking stupid push pin system, right? So when I got the watch, I actually adjusted it myself one more time just to make sure like, oh, the fit's perfect, whatever. And I noticed when I was adjusting it, one of the pins here was protruding a little bit, and it turns out it was missing a sleeve. So I don't know if that was the fault of the place I bought it from. When they were changing the links out, they forgot to put the sleeve in, but you know, I just got another sleeve from one of the other links. I'm not planning to sell this on, so I don't really give two fucks about using a secondary link and a sleeve. And you know, missing a sleeve, if the second person, whoever I give this to or sell it to, if I do end up doing it, I mean, they can find it themselves, right? But yeah, that was just annoying because it's not a screw system. I guess it's complicated, not complicated, but it's just a not a premium way to do the bracelet. And I understand, oh yeah, titanium, you want to keep it lightweight, but come on, bro, like just having fucking screws in the bracelet, like how much weight is that actually gonna give in? Like an extra 0.01 gram or whatever? Like, I think it's going to be an insignificant amount of weight to add to the watch to sacrifice the usability and the ease of use of just screw pins. Like this pin and sleeve system, I don't like it, because you got to fuck around with the sleeve. You got to put the sleeve in, and then you have to put the pin in, and if it's not done properly, like, you know, like I found it, if I was wearing it and then that fucking pin fell out, I would have been a catastrophe. But otherwise, you know, once it's all set up, that's fine. And keeping in mind the clasp, just making sure that you push it in and then make sure it doesn't come out. Once that's done, it's perfect. It's a perfect wear, great wear. Shit, I've been wearing it pretty hard and there's no scratches on it whatsoever. This high intensity titanium shit, I don't know what they're doing, but there's no scratches. I actually went to the gym, I did some deadlifts. I was deadlifting like fucking 180s, 190s for like a working set, 180, 190 kilos at the gym over at the hotel. I was wearing this and it's fine. I was doing pull-ups and dips and there's no scratches at all. There's nothing, there's no scratches, it's great. So yeah, that's the week on the wrist done. I don't want to drag this video on too long, but yeah, what can I say? Like, this is a fucking great pick. And I sold my Black Bay 58 because I was gonna get the Tudor Pro and something stopped me. I was like, oh, you know what? Instead of getting the Tudor Pro, I was this close to fucking buying one because I found one for a great deal, brand new. And something stopped me. I was like, you know what? I'll go look at this in person. And then I did look at it in person. I was like, that's the one. Nah, this is it. This is fucking it. This is it. So that's the video. Hope you guys enjoyed the week as I have, and I'll catch you on the next one. See ya.